Well, hello there, my beading friends. I actually did it. Do you believe it? Woohoo! So I'm not going to be able to show you up close how I'm weaving in because I'm afraid that if I get closer than this, you guys may not be able to see it or be blocking or something, but there are other videos out there where they use larger beads in order to show you exactly how the process works. And that's how I would personally recommend to start with. Get these nice sized beads. Probably about this size, but obviously not that shape. Just do some square beads or something and get used to 1 drop, 2 drop, etc. before going these itty bitty tiny ones. Alright, so we have our fire line. I'm going to be using the crystal. I am going to be doing the dentist supply, so the background they called for a opaque light mint. So I'm going to go ahead and use this. I know it's not going to be showing your colors. If you watched a video and I described some colors, I described a black with this like oily residue type iridescent aurora borealis. So that's going to probably be the tools. And then when they called for a white pearl, this again is iridescent. It's probably going to be, it's not going to be the mirror, but it's going to be something. And then the silver, they wanted a semi-matte silver lined mint green. How many more words can you use? So I think that was going to be for the Listerine, in fact. Number D, let me see. Yeah, it's going to be, D is going to be for the Listerine bottle. C is going to be white pearl. So these two are going to be next to each other. This is going to be the bottle, and that's going to be the label in the bottle, and that's why they wanted the green, to make it look like it was Listerine. But what I did is when I got comfortable making it, I turned it into a Listerine bottle by doing it green liquid, or I think it was like a blue liquid or green liquid, and then the center B is going to be black. So yeah, anyway, E is going to be metallic silver, which I have. And then I have a backup white because there's barely any white here, and it's just it doesn't have that pink pearlescent to it. So let me see. E, what is going to be E? The C's, okay, so E is the mirror, the little dental mirror that they use. E is, that's why they want that. And I only need 7 of those, so we're good. So silver of that. And then D is the white. C, D, ooh. That's going to be, all right. This is why you should look at your chart. I can't really show you the chart just like cross-stitching. But the tooth is going to be black, and the center is going to be D. And I have D as silver. And I don't want that because then it looks like it's a big, not a cavity, but they even have it as a D. They even has it as a light mint. Why would they have a tooth that color? So C is going to be the dental floss, which is going to be black with the center of white. That's good. So D, I want the tooth to be white. And how many D's we have? So I'm going to change out the silver because it's only for the tooth and the center of the Listerine bottle. I'm going to change that out. See, that's why I go through this. And I'm going to make it a white because that's going to be your teeth. And all the appliances, as I'm going to call them, are outlined in black. All right. Now that we explained that, in order to, this is the needle you're going to be using. It's very thin. You don't have to, but it helps if you have the wax and run your line through your wax. It runs it smoother. Your line is going to be very thick, so it will not fit along the tooth itself. You'll have to take, if you have nails, just sit there and scrape about a 1/2 inch to 1 inch, flatten it out really well, and you'll be able to get it through this needle, eye of the needle. Just like cross stitching, you're going to leave yourself a little tail. It can't be too long, otherwise when you go through a bead, you might capture it in the bead, and it's going to cause problems. So there's the line. Now, the things you need to make life easier is you're going to need some sort of a pad to where if something drops, you can catch it. So right now I have these fluffy little mats. They're called beading mats. They're a thin foam, nothing special, but when you drop a bead, it's not going to bounce. It's just going to suck it on there. You do have those rubberized things. They look almost like a mouse pad, and they have bumps and all this stuff. I tried one of those. Didn't like it. Way too sticky. So you're going to want to have your main working part up here. I made this on my own. I used a big, thick piece of foam from, I think it was a foam mattress from the bed that I had. You know, those egg crate mattresses, but anyway, it's one of those. And then I went ahead and cut in holes, and when I cut the holes, I had an old mat like this, and I just measured and pushed those in here, as you can see. I also lined it with hot glue gun so the beads won't be fouling them, you know, all the way in. It's not perfect. I think I ordered one from Temu, so we will see. But it does the job. You also probably want that silver scooping thing that I have. It will help with getting beads like underneath or something. I don't know if I have the time to look for wherever that would be. Oh yeah, and that's going to be inside of one of my other containers. Never mind. So let's go ahead and put down some of our colors. It's been a busy, busy day. So I'm going to have A. I'm looking at my chart. How many A's do I have? I have a lot of A's because it's going to be in the backdrop. If you want to keep them in your container and just scoop through, you can usually, what you can usually do is just like this and keep stabbing until you get one. And there, I got two. So, I mean, if that's you, that's fine. But here, if you, come on, it sticks in the foam. But if you go like this and you put your needle down just before that bead sucks right into it. And I can't see from here, so it's the other test I'm going to have. But if you push down, it will roll up right onto it most times, especially this pad. So I'm going to have a bunch of A's. And I personally like putting them out here because if I have the whole container and my hand hits this, all these beads are going to go flying. So it's easier if you have, you know, your beads out where you want it. And before they run out, I always make sure I refill them so I know which number is which. A lot of explaining, right? So B, where's my B's? My B's are going to be black, so they're going to be all the outline of all the tools. The tooth, the tools, the mirror, the whole everything. So that's going to take a lot too. And I think what I might just do is change the background color, but don't change anything else unless I see that, you know, hey, this would look gooder in this color. So here's my C. Again, C is going to be dental floss, and that's the only things. Oh yes, dental floss and the Listerine container. So we'll just goof around. Can't go wrong, it's up to you. The only thing you can go wrong is misunderstanding a bead. Okay. D is going to be the tooth, the Listerine. That's about it. Kind of guessed how many you might need. You're probably going to lose some here and there. You're going to drop some. Some will even break while you're working. Let me turn off my heater. So I have another video. I'm not sure if I'm going to put it up or not, but I was working in the living room and I told myself, I got to make eggnog. I totally forgot to make eggnog. Well, the creamer is not, you know, is good until February, so no big deal, but, you know, I'm wanting to make eggnog. So I finally made the eggnog. And then I'm like, hey, let me go stitch for a while, you know, sit down and do something. Couldn't do that because dear kitties were in the craft room underneath the table where the sun was shining. And it goes from here to the door. So I had like 3 hours. I could not do anything in this room. Like, fine, I'll force myself. So I went in the living room and started doing where my yarn is being kept, those metal containers that I've talked about that you put together, those metal wire things, cubby holes. So I've done 2 more rows of those. So 2, 4, 6, 8. 10, 12. I have 12 of them up now. I just did 8 of them. So, all right, here we go. So you take your needle and you're going to need what's called a stop bead. I do have, there's a thing during one of my videos you'll see, and it has 2 red handles, and it's a spring with handles. Some people use that. I find it annoying because it's just like catching on things. So find yourself a bead that is much bigger than what you're using, and it's a totally different color, so you know exactly where it's at. So you're going to thread there, go all the way down, and you're going to want to get another good tail, a couple of inches, and just run your line right through it again. So you're essentially creating a knot that isn't a true knot. So you just want it loose like that, so whenever you're done, you can take that off, and your work is going to stay on this line, so your beads won't fall off, okay? All right, like I said, you're not going to see the up close, because it's very tedious, and I have to get close to see what I'm doing. So to read the chart, I'm going to give you one line. I can't give you them all, because that's, you know, what have you. If you look on the chart, they're all going to be done rows. This one's going to say row 1 and 2. I don't know if you can see it. I can do a different video where I'm just talking about it without trying to do it. And then you're going to have, don't let it confuse you. You're always going to move, if I remember right. It's all going to say LR, LR, LR. That means left, right, left, right, left, right. Well, when you're doing the first row, you don't know if you're going left or right, but all you're doing is going one way and then down, then up, down, up, down. When you get the first 2 rows in, you'll be fine. You'll be able to ski real quickly. So you're going to have it, and it's going to show 2A, 1E, 37 A's, 1B, and 5 A's. So if you add up those rows, every single row that you have should have the same number of beads, just different colors. So in example, 37, 38, 39, 44, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46. So 46. Oh, I have it up here. 46. And all these rows will have 46, so you'll know exactly how big your thing is. Okay, here we go. So it wants 2 A's. Oh, I got different colors in here. So I just run my bead. Oh, there goes beads running away. So I just run my needle down here. Okay, there's 2. You got 2 A's. I need 1 E. Like I said, it might be easier to do it on a thinner one. I have had, actually that's why you see these letters. I've had this mat and I've labeled it A, B, C, D, E, F. And you can just put the beads on top of it. But just make sure you're not going to, you know, hit your hand or mix them or throw them all over the place. There's different things you can do. All right, so 1 E and 37 A's. Are you ready to count with me? So what I do is keep my fingers at the end of the needle, load up some, and start counting. So I'm going to be doing that, so I'm not going to be talking. The other thing to do is to pinch them between your fingers and start loading up. Figure out a way that works for you. So I'm going to count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and just twirl them in your fingers and they turn around. 8. Whee! Come on. 9. 10. So I know I've done 10. If you have to write down 10 on your thing, so if you get distracted, you'll know how many you have. Keep a pad or something. There's 10, so I'll do 10 at a time. Grab a pinch, roll them around your fingers, and feed them into. I'm just doing this by the thing. 1. Come on. Some beads are going to be malformed. Some beads are going to crack and break, especially when you have part of the pen wrap created, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, one of the beads in the middle of nowhere cracks and breaks and falls off, there's a way to fix it. I don't know offhand what it is. There's a way you weave in and out and then create it and all that stuff. So 1, 2, 3, 4. There's a black one. Don't want that. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Look at that. Perfect. 10. So there's 20. We need 37. That's on 20. 21. 22. Ah! They're flying everywhere. 23. Come on. Come on. It's very hard. 24. 25. 26. 27. 28. 29. So I'm going to show you how easy it is to pick them up over here. If you guys can see this, let me do it over here. 27. 28. This isn't the right mat. 29. And 30. Come on, 30. So the reason why you should get a beading mat as opposed to just foam, don't use this kind of foam, because when you use your thing, it sticks. Your needle will stick. And that's annoying, whereas this mat doesn't unless you go deep. So that's the advantage of it. Did I just do 30? Because if you don't have your numbers right, when you do the next rows, it's not going to add up and you're going to be frustrated. And see, I just lost count. I cannot talk and do this at the same time. So let me recount everything I've done. This is going to happen a lot. Get used to it. You'll get distracted. So make sure you have the time and the patience and everything else. So, oops, there's an odd color. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 to 7, 28 to 9, 30 to 1, 32 to 3 to 4, 34, 35, 36, 37. So take off 2. All right, so there's 37. And I'm just doing this in real time without editing to show you what things can go wrong, how long it's going to take. You will need to be concentrating. 1B. Now I do have an odd white one in my green. I'm not going to change it. Let it be. And then 5 more A's. And it makes sense because you're starting to create 1, 2. Come on, fingers. 3, 4, 5. All right. So if you have to double check your count, you should have 46. I am going to go ahead and do that because when you do your next row, you're going to be taking 1, skipping 1, putting it in, taking 1, skipping 1, putting it in. And if you mess up somewhere in there, you don't have the right count of rows here, which is row 1 and 2, then it's going to be all messed up. So double check your work before you continue. It's going to happen. So we want a total of 46 beads. Come on, Tanya. Gosh darn it. It is very frustrating because you have to get your groove going. All right, let me do this. I'm trying to use my... Okay, 46. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43. See, I don't have 46. I'm glad I did this. Let me pause you guys, since you know how to do this part. Let me go ahead and pause you and make sure I have the correct number of beads. Because if they're not the correct number and they're not in the correct order, your pattern's going to come out wrong. So make sure this is the beginning good step. All right, here I am again. That took about 20 minutes. I did not add a bead at the very end, so I had to take off the bottom bead and then thread more beads on that end. I counted this twice. I've got 46 finally. And like I said, these are the first 2 rows. I brought you into a different area here because this is where I'm going to start. This is the most frustrating portion of this. I thought I was going to give up back in the day. But when it turns into the shape that you need it to, which is a zipper, you know how the zippers have 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and they alternate? You'll see that that's what it's going to do. All right, so the one thing that helped me understand or to get my beads correctly, gosh, this is sticking into it, is anytime I'm not working with this, is I stick my needle inside the foam. So this way, if it gets knocked over, you have it secured at the end and secured at the beginning. So our next row calls for 2 A's. I'm just going to do 1 or 2 rows so you get the gist, but I'm not going to do everything. I'm not going to even finish this video today. But what I like to do is I like to put my beads that I need in front of me. So there's my 2 A's. I need 2 B's. One A. One B. And you're just going to have to know whichever way you want to work. Right to left, left to right, as long as it's in the correct order. And it has to be... so we went left and now we're going to go right. So don't let that confuse you. You automatically are doing that. It all depends upon how you're turning this. I ignore left and right. Just ignore it. 1A. So we had 2 A's. So you have to do this again. 2 B's. 1 A. 1 B. 3 A's. Some of these are mixing into each other. 2 B's. 2 B's or not 2 B's. Oh, there's a hitchhiker. That's 3. I want 2. 2 B's. 12 A's. So the A's got really mixed up with how many weird colors are working in there. I'm just going to grab all these odd ones I'm putting aside, so I don't have to deal with them again. This isn't the best foam thing, but you'll have an idea of how you can go about working it, making it. A lot of people have how you can make them online. I need 12 of those. I'm just going to pile a bunch here. I'm almost out anyway of my stash. I don't know what is with my freaking throat. I keep like phlegm. Thick phlegm. All right. Is this A's? Okay. Let's see how many we have here. Gotta take off my glasses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Ooh, I was 1 shy. Put those in the corner. And it's easier to work on this mat as far as your needle goes. So we need 1 more from this little one. Okay. Put some more up here so they're an easy grab, because this is the color we're going to use most of. But I want to get you through the steps, the third row. So this again, the first one you did is 2 rows. Don't ask how they count it, why they count it, whatever. It is what it is. Just let it be. Let's make sure I have 12. Since I have to get right down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. We're going to take all the ones we don't need, put them here. You don't want any other beads on your mat because you're going to think it's part of it and you're going to grab it and go, oh. So 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. 23 is half of 46. So I was mistaken when I first said that everything is 46. Because I have up here, see, you have to remember, I haven't done this for 4 years. So 46 is your first row and 23 thereafter. Because you wouldn't be doing 46 twice. All right, so let's see if I remember this right. So you're going to pick up, this is, I don't know the name of the drop. Is it even drop, odd drop, 1 drop, whatever. Okay. So, I like to put it on my finger like this. Pick up your first bead. I know you guys aren't going to see that well here, and I said there's other people who do this, and they use larger square beads where you understand what I'm doing here. You're going to skip over the first bead and go through the second and bring it out. Okay? And it should be a tiny little T. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that. So you're going to do that. Gosh darn it. With all these beads, one at a time, skipping over every other bead. So it is a minute to hold on to them. You have to, scoot this back to its friends. I found it easier to put it over my finger. Put your other finger there to hold it like a snake. Okay? Grab another bead. Make sure your hand, when you're doing that, is not messing with your row. Figure out where you just came from. Skip over that bead. Oh boy, I'm going to have magnifying glass. The eyes have changed. Okay. Skip over that next bead and put it in the following bead. Come on, kid. Come on, kid. Gosh, these are so small. Now I know why I haven't done it in a while. Skip. Okay, good. And I'll do a couple of these, and I'll show you what I mean by the zipper effect. And then I'll let you go. And I can do another video to show you how the progress is coming, if you'd like. But again, I'm not going to waste anybody's time if you're all out there and nobody's commenting, nobody's like, how you do this, how do you do that? And it's not worth my video and my time if I'm entertaining myself. Going through every other bead here. It is frustrating. It does take time and concentration. It's a time where you cannot be disturbed. Don't put it somewhere where the pets get to it, the family members get to it. Get a place set up for yourself. If you need to listen to music while you're doing it, watch something. I personally cannot watch because there's numbers going. When I get going on this, then yes, I can start watching. To begin with, I want to make sure my numbers are correct and my sequences are right. I made myself some homemade eggnog, and I can't wait to try it. It's chillin'. Had to go to the supermarket to get some brandy and rum, and normally it'd be just brandy, but I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do rum too, because I bought that pre-made stuff, and it comes out real good. So again, I always cover my thumb with the last bead that I played with, so it's not a distraction. You can peek underneath your thumb if you need to know where you're at. Skip a bead, go through here, and you should come out even whenever you're doing this. Even though it's an odd number, but you know what I'm saying? They're all going to be matched up like they're supposed to. Just make sure you skip over one bead, go through that other one, and come out. It's usually easier if you go into the bead and then bring your needle to the left or right side of it. And it'll do it good. And you'll see how it's going to start lining up. I'm going to bring this up close later so I can make sure you can see it. But it looks like a zipper. I got so many projects going on. I'm going to do a live again tonight if I'm not toast. But I wanted to get this going to encourage myself to start it so I won't be going, oh, I don't look forward to doing this. But when you get in the groove, you get in the groove. And like I said 50 times before, as long as you have your first 2 rows, which is the first line of the beads that we did, and you have that right amount of numbers, you have it in the right sequence as far as colors, because sometimes it will matter. It'll offset. Say if the tooth had an extra black off the tip of it, it looked weird. So that's why it's really important to get your colors correct. All right, sometimes you have to roll your beads. And then if you guys want to see me, see the progress throughout the time as I'm working on it, when I have a bunch more rows done, let me know. And I can do that, and I'll definitely let you know the ending. When you get several rows done, we're going to remove this stopper bead as well, because you don't need it anymore. It's all tied in. It's all secured, but if you want to leave it on, there's no harm. But it's all interwoven with your other beads, so that's why it's not going to come off. But when you're putting these in, these beads are going to sit to the side of that line bead. Instead of having a single line, you're going to have 2 beads side by side, and they're just going to zipper each other in. It's pretty cool how it does it. Okay. Watch your tail. Make sure your tail isn't going to get caught where you're at. And I have a big old line. I know I'm really bad with measurements as far as eye goes. What is this? About 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 or 6 inches of line. Just all the less more that you have to go through. Now you're thinking, well, what if you run out of line? Well, we're going to run out of line. That's for sure. But it tells you how to go ahead and start a new line, which I'm not familiar with right now. I'll have to restudy that, of how to do that. Come on. But once you get the hang of it, it all comes together smoothly. And you also want to make sure, like I just did, don't get in a loop. I'm creating a knot there. Watch. You do not want to create a knot, because that would be disastrous, and then you're doing everything for nothing. Come on. Who's doing what here? I have my other tail in the way, that's why. But yep, no knots. It's not nice. So this should be even, be coming out even, should be creating a T at the end. All these are miniature T's. Don't create a knot. And they have to face a certain way, a certain flatness. Son of a beehive and biscuit eating bulldog. Alright, I just made a mistake by going through one too many beads. You may or may not be able to correct it. Wait, I may or may not have made a mistake. They're supposed to line in together. Come on, sweetheart. Okay, I did not make a mistake. It just didn't pop in like it's supposed to. Come on. I usually use my fingers to roll it, to get it to sit next to each other, because right now you have 2 lines of thread going on, so I did not make a mistake. It just didn't pop in like the rest, and you need them to pop in. There you go. Come on. It's trying to sit on top of it when I need them to be buddies and be side to side. That also will happen. Come on, get in there. Come on. Nope, still didn't do it. I wonder why. Okay, let me go backwards here. Because if you go back through the bead, there's a chance that you're going to go through the other string that's in there and cause an issue and cause a knot, which I did not right there, so that's good. So I'm back up a little bit, found out where I'm at, skip one, go over one. You can also adjust your bead too to make it a little bit tighter to help you so it doesn't move around on you. It's a slider bead. Now how come you're not cooperating? Get down there with your brother. There we go. That's going to happen too. You'll have to play with it. When you get it all done, you'll have to just play with it and create the pattern of the zipper when you're done. It is very frustrating when it doesn't, there we go, doesn't want to cooperate. So there is going to be some fidgeting. Other times it may come out just perfect, but get your own little your own little method. I put mine over the finger, and it seems to just pop in together, and they play nice. They need to be side by side. Every other bead is side by side. And if you double checked your numbers of your beads and you run out of beads on your platform, or you run out of beads of what you have to go under, then something isn't right. The start should look like the finish. And that's why I like also a tail, a good tail, because the tail, when you get towards the end, you can wrap that around your finger. And it will be a breeze after this, so hopefully, they're all popping in together. Hopefully it works, and then I can show you a close-up of what I'm talking about, the zipper. Come on. And if you have to, and it doesn't turn out right, take off your slider bead, start all over. There, mine turned out perfect. Yay. All right, cool. So it's all wanky like that. What you want to do is kind of stretch it, kind of move it. You're going to play around with it. So let me show you a close-up on this, and then I'll get a few more rows, and I'll probably do another video because I don't know how long my video will stay good. So let me come up here and show you. All right. Hello. Oh, let's back out a little bit, shall we? Let's put on this flash. All right. This is just an amateur video. So, here's where you have to play with it. But see how it has side by side? That's the way you want the entire thing to look right now. So it even has a side by side at the end, and then a single, and then side by side, then single, then side by side. See that? And then what's going to happen is when I get all these straightened up, I will make another video, because when you start the next row, you can't just start on any side. You have to start on the side it is meant for. So when you look on your pattern, if we're doing that dental tools, all the blacks have to obviously be on one side because we're going this way downwards, so that, you know, any blacks on this side is not going to be correct. So see how that one's over there? You're going to twist it so all the blacks are on the left side and all the other colors. So I'll let you guys go. I'll make another video. I have a lot of finagling to do, but you see, looks like a zipper. And that's what you want. So stay tuned for the next video. Comments, questions, leave them down below. Any explanations, anything like that, let me know. And we'll go into how to load up the next beads. Until next time, bye-bye.